Hi everyone, I'm Nila Chen from K-In Technology. Today, I would like to introduce one of K-In's core product lines, SMP and CMS series. K-In's SMP and CMS solution caters to from small to large-scale digital out-of-home networks. In an SMP standalone structure, each player can be managed individually by web-based user interface. In a CMS client-server structure, players can be divided into groups and managed centrally by a server. That being said, K-In's solution can correspond to your requirements from entry level to advanced level. We have three models for K-In's SMP series: SMP2300 for 2 HDMI output, SMP2310 for 3 HDMI outputs, and finally SMP8000 for 4 DP outputs. For more information about the three models for SMP series, you can take a look at K-In's SMP player selection guide. The SMP software features an intuitive user interface, a self-designed template creation, multimedia playback, and scheduling management. Moreover, the system is reliable and secure. Let's move forward to a demo of software user interface to understand further. In my demo, I will be using SMP2300 as an example. To get to the software user interface page of SMP2300, you can simply paste the IP address of SMP2300 and enter. You just need to enter in the user ID and password to log in. Once you log in, you will have a system overview where you can clearly view the status of the SMP2300 device. On the display tab, you can see the display settings. We support 4 modes. Single mode, which is when SMP2300 connects to a single display. Clone mode, when it is connected to display and you want them to play the identical content. Extended mode, when it's connected to dual display and you want them to play one large content. It can either be vertical or horizontal. Distinct mode, when it is connected to 2 display and you want them to play totally different content. You can upload your own background image, and when you are connected to a touch screen, you can configure the setting for screensaver and cursor function. SMP2300 supports a diversity of peripherals. We support Wi-Fi adapter, 3G, 4G network. When it's connected to a GPS dongle, it can play according to the location where your digital signage is at. It supports COM port. It can be connected with a video capture card so that it can support video input. You may adjust the sound here, configure the touchscreen parameters here, and USB device. It also supports a variety of web service. I would like to emphasize on SDK configuration. It is a tool that you can integrate easily with other systems. On the library tab, you can upload the files, the fonts, the clocks onto your SMP device. On the skin tab, you can create your own template. To create a template, you can simply add a new skin, choose the resolution of your screen, and choose the zone you would like to have. After this is done, just simply click Save. After you have created your own skin, you can go to Program to configure the skin. So choose the skin that you would like to use and the zone you would like to configure. Then you can assign the files, whether image or videos, to the program. For the ticker zone, you can enter the text, edit the font, direction, or color. The skin also supports HTML zone, which you can integrate with a web page or the HTML content that you design. You can also configure them into a playlist so the content will switch its layout directly. We also have an inbuilt QR code where you can let the user take away the content you will wish them to download. On the playback page, you can view the current playback in a screenshot. You can also switch the default content by simply clicking play icon here. SMP currently supports face detection function. For more information about face detection application, you can refer to another videos of K-In. It also supports key pop function and it facilitates queue management system. On the schedule page, you can view the schedule you have created for this SMP device or add schedule. We support 5 layers of schedule mode, which is once a particular time, daily a particular time, every day, weekly some particular days in a week, monthly some particular days and weeks in a month, yearly particular days, weeks, or months in a year, or even we support location based once it is connected to a GPS dongle. You can also schedule screen on and off, the volume, and the time to restart the system. As previously mentioned, we support different network settings. You can also configure your own firewall settings for security reasons. On the CMS tab, you can configure settings for the CMS connection. For this part, I will talk about it along with the CMS demo. On the log page, you can view all the user activities recorded here. I believe now you have some ideas about Cayen's SMP series. I will move on to introduce Cayen's CMS series for large-scale project management. We have 3 models for CMS series. CMS 60 is for over 80 SMP connection. It is bundled with an hardware, so you don't have to install the software on your own. CMS 60 is a software-only solution. It supports flexible quantity of SMP connections. CMS Station is an app on QNAP NAS, so if you are a QNAP NAS user, you can apply CMS Station very easily. The system structure of CMS series has a main server and SMP players. If you want, you can also have a backup server in case of any incidents, and site server for different user access control and also for sharing the network bandwidth. So you can have a multi-server environment and you can control the access control. You can have a group management of the players and you can monitor the player status instantly. Now let's understand further by taking a look at CMS software user interface. To get on the user interface of CMS, it's the same as SMP. You can just paste the IP address of the server and get onto the page. Here I omit the login process. You can also see a system overview of your CMS server. You can also configure the web service information here. On the role tab, you can assign the server role, assign it as main server, site server, or backup server. On the Access tab, you can manage the folders containing in the CMS server and assign the folders to the group of players. On the Account page, you can add multiple user accounts and assign the account access to different functions or groups of players in the CMS. On the Player tab, you can see a list of the player that has successfully connected or has been connected but failed afterwards. On Player Management page, you can open the interface of this player, or you can simply view its status by checking it and clicking Status View. You can export its profile, reboot the players, and synchronize the content of the player. On Multiplayer Configuration page, you can choose one player that you want to configure the setting to other players. To do so, click the player that you would like to configure and click Multiplayer Configuration. Once you do this action, that means you will configure the player setting you have chosen to other groups of players as well. So by clicking Apply to all SMP players, that means this player setting, including schedule, will be applied to other SMP players as well. You can also view the player screenshot by checking the player you want to view it. Here, I will just use one player as a demo. Here, the player is only connected to one display, so I can only see one screenshot here. On the Mail Alert tab, you can configure your mail setting by clicking Enable and configure the mail. That means during a time where the server has failed to connect to a particular player, it will send an email to your account so that you don't have to stick onto the CMS page all the time to check your player status. You can manage the patch of players here as well so that all the players can be instantly updated to the latest version. RTB tab is the page where you can configure streaming settings. CMS can be served as a simple streaming server. On the library page, there's no very much difference compared to SMP library page. The only difference is that you need to select a group of players you will want to create the content first. Then, as you did on SMP page, you can upload the font, the clock, the template, the content, or put them into a playlist. As for the schedule, there's no much difference as compared to SMP player as well. Again, the only difference is that you need to select a group first. And as you did on the SMP, you can also adjust the volume and schedule it. On the Network tab, you can configure the Ethernet setting. And at the Log tab, it's the same as SMP. It records all the user activity, so in case of any incident, we can figure out the issue here. I hope this demo helps you understand the function of CMS. Now we can take a look at how SMP and CMS can be applied to a variety of applications. Let's continue our demo. SMP and CMS series can be a flexible platform for extended integration as well. Here are some of the integrations that we have worked on before. Facial recognition, using smartphone to interact with digital signage and control the content, using barcode scanner to view product information, touchscreen application, live stream content, integration with meeting room system, and play according to the location. It also supports multi-display and video walls application. As you can see, Kayin's SMP and CMS solution can cater to a variety of applications, including retail, hospitality, education, etc. It is useful for information delivery and entertainment. If you have any project inquiry or any business opportunity that would like to contact us, please feel free to do so. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye bye.